Hello. So, to pick up from the last video, as I was saying, there seems to be a bit of a resurgence in sort of Gnostic thought a lot online these days. And it's all good stuff, I guess. It's good too. But, actually, what time is it? Better look at that first. Okay. So, this mind wipe thing, if you're not familiar about the mind wipe, it won't be too hard to familiarise yourself with the mind wipe. There's probably loads of people who've done videos on it. But the theory is basically the Gnostics believed that this earth was being, or this thing, was sort of being ruled over by this chief archon, demiurge type thing. And it's actually just a prison. Like, there's no good here. That's what a lot of Gnostic thought is based on. That this is basically what we're calling God is actually the devil. And we're in a prison and we don't know it. And it's, we die, suffer, we live, we get born, we live a life of suffering and pain. And, well, not just suffering and pain, high emotion, very, and these archons are feeding on our louche energy, which is energy we give off whenever we feel a lot, yeah, and that's their food. That's the theory. And to make sure that the supply is maintained, every time we die, we go somewhere, we get our mind wiped, so we can't remember what had happened before, and we get sent down again to repeat the cycle. That's very, very basic. I mean, go and find out for yourself from whoever. But I'm just trying to get through this quickly so that I've only got like 15-minute chunks. I wish YouTube had just let me ramble, but I'm not giving them my phone number. If they want to find it, they can look for it. I'm not going to make it easy for them. But, so that's the theory. And it's literally, I don't know if it's kind of usually seen as a negative thing. Well, it's not nice, is it? But when I don't know, I don't know. I'm not the sort of person who has a belief. I can tell the difference between knowing something and believing something. And if I don't know, then belief is irrelevant, really. I don't need to believe in something that I don't know if it's true or not. I don't need to believe it. And nobody does, more to the point. Nobody needs to believe anything they do not know to be true. I'm not saying don't play with ideas, don't entertain ideas. No. You've got it all wrong if you think that. We can stay zero, we can play with ideas and thoughts and concepts and, human beings are very, very, very amazing things. That we can do so much more than we realise. I don't even have a clue about my potential. Don't even have a clue. It's probably limitless, as is yours. But what's not unlimited, but we're restricted. That's what I'm trying to sort of get at. We have these unconscious restrictions and blockages that prevent us fulfilling potential. And they can take many forms, but I don't want to get sidetracked on that type of... I want to keep going somewhere with this mind wipe thing. Because, I mean, I'm not saying anybody who believes the mind wipe is a bad thing and it's negative here and it's just bad here. I don't believe I know enough to tell anybody anything. I just play with ideas and I I throw them around. I chat about them. But I did think of a circumstance where the mind wipe could be an act of mercy rather than a negative thing. I'm not saying I know this. No. Please. We're playing here. We're playing. But what I thought was, like, if you've lived a life as an utter cunt, yeah? An utter wanker. And I don't mean just, you're just a bit unpleasant to people. No. I mean, you're like, Stalin. That type of shit. Mao. Or maybe you've been Stalin or Mao in your own family. Maybe that would be enough. You don't even have to do it on a global scale. Maybe you've just acted like that within your own family unit while you were alive. To me, it's possible, the mind wipe, as they call it, could serve two purposes that are an act. Well, one of them is an act of mercy, and the other one is to sort of, if we are being judged by someone or something, it's so that that thing can get a clear view to make a judgment, a proper judgment, an accurate and fair judgment. Might not be the case. It might be all bad, for all I know. But this is what we do here. We play with ideas and we follow them through to their logical conclusion, if there is one. And then you live your life and you experience things that either confirm or refute that thought. These things just take you a certain amount of distance down the road, then you might change your belief for something else. And that's okay. That's called evolution. As long as your your head's in the right place, it's all evolution, I guess. As I once heard, like I went to, like, I remember whenever I was working in the music industry, and I was still very aspirational and all of that, and one of the most, and it was ironic because I went to this talk. It was loads of industry people telling, aspiring musicians and shit. It was before I was kind of a noob. Well, actually, no, I wasn't a noob. It wasn't that at all. It was to do with training for work program on the Dole in London. And if you got on training for work then, it doesn't exist now, the Dole left you alone. They didn't hassle you. And it was to do with creative people like artists, musicians, whatever. It was just getting the Dole off your back. You signed up with this other third party called Training for Work, and the Dole, they would be like helping you to get into your chosen field, rather than the Dole saying to you, do you know what? You're a writer, you're a musician, you're a whatever. Would you like to sell chips, fish and chips for a living? That sort of shit. So on this Training for Work program, I went on this talk once, and there was this industry exec there talking about stuff, and he actually gave me I think it's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever heard in my life. He said, if you make the wrong move, you're still moving forward. And that's what paralyzes some people. They don't move because they don't want to make the wrong choice. And that's counterproductive. It's procrastination and sitting there doing nothing. That's the only thing you can do wrong. As soon as you start to act, whether you're right or wrong, you're still moving forward. So that can be taken to an extreme that's just stupid. Yes, I think we all know. You're meant to balance all of these things with a bit of common sense. If you don't have common sense, then do not come to me and say, that advice was shit. Yeah. So, 6 minutes. 6 minutes left. So the mind wipe thing, yeah. Anyway. Like if you were an utter cunt when you lived your life, maybe it would paralyze you to either out of your own sort of, you just can't believe what an arsehole you were. You're just like, oh my God. And you can't live a life successfully here. You just can't do it. Your mind is fixed on the shit you did. You're not here in the now, in the moment, living your life now. And that's what this entity needs to be able to tell how to judge you. You understand? If you're looking over it could even be deviousness as well. You could be thinking, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to trick him. Well, then he doesn't know whether you mean it or not. Or it, he, she, it, whatever that thing is. I don't even know if it, he, she, it exists. I'm just playing with the idea. I'm not saying it doesn't exist either. So, But this strikes me as a reason. It could be an act of mercy to wipe someone's mind before they get sent back down here again. To give them a chance to live their life fully, freely, without any baggage. How can you come back here and live a new life if you're carrying the baggage from your old life? Do you understand? Now, again, I'm not saying this is what I believe, but when I think about things, well, that's the thing. I do think about things. I'm a thoughtful person, and I can't just run with these ideas where people, it's all bad, it might be, but I don't know it. I don't know it. And if you can't show it, you don't know it. Yeah? And that's what I get with a lot of the people who talk about these sort of subjects. They claim to know things they can't show. It's what they believe. It sounds good to them, or it sounds right to them. And that's it. I'm now a believer. I believe in that now. So now you've cut yourself off from every other... do you know what I mean? Like the old expression, what they say? You don't have opinions. Your opinions have you. You understand? 3 minutes on the clock. And that's what I always try to avoid. I don't want to have opinions or beliefs because then I'm done. And I don't need to have opinions or beliefs. There's good, there's bad, there's right, there's wrong. And if you're living in the now, beliefs are irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? Beliefs are entirely redundant when you're living in the now. I believe Jesus, or somewhere in the Bible, talks about, Jesus said, was it, the evil of the day is sufficient unto itself. The Buddhists say now is all we have. So this is what I think about the mind wipe. So if this thing that is in charge, like the demiurge, you see, I hate this because it's coming up to the time and I'm just getting into something that, the mind wipe could help that thing tell who you are, and it enables you to live freely here in your next incarnation. But that, I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, it's a weird place, this earth. There's not a lot of good here. And when you find it, it's, it's rare. So I'm totally, I'm going to go now because it's going to